Beyond the Mic with Sean Dillon.
We're joined on the star line by a star you've seen in Glee, All My Life, Shadowhunters, and Crazy Rich Asians. His latest project is the thriller Broadcast Signal Intrusion. We welcome Harry Shum Jr.
Hey, thank you. Thank you so much for having me, Sean.
Harry, let's go beyond the mic. Broadcast Signal Intrusion was inspired by actual events in the Chicago late 80s. Why was doing this project so intriguing for you?
I mean, yeah, if anyone's ever seen any of these intrusions that really happened, it's just fascinating and unsettling. And I think, these intrusions, and especially in the 80s, where it was like you took sophisticated equipment to even hijack a signal, even on a local broadcast, and they still haven't found out how they did it, why they did it 30 years later. So this movie takes it a step further, where I play a video archivist who discovers these intrusions and somehow finds a connection between these missing women and also something very personal, his wife that he lost 3 years prior. So this was just a mystery and like very film noir, and also a psychological thriller that I've never seen before. And also reading the script, I was just very unsettling, and I had so many questions that I want answers, that I felt like I wanted to take on that journey that James does in the film.
Now, after you read a horror script, you start looking twice in places, opening closed closets, you start to get paranoid.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think anything you read, you do that. But, when after the beginning, you start looking at places that you probably shouldn't. And what's interesting is going down this journey with this character. It's like one of my favorite lines from the script and the movie is like, you've been looking for the answers for so long that you forget the questions, forget the question. And I think a lot of times when these things that scare you, you're like, well, why am I scared of that? Right. And I think those are the most interesting questions, because we're scared for a certain reason, and we actually don't even know fully why. And this one, this movie kind of, I think, bends the genre a little bit and doesn't just sit into the horror, I guess, category, because it does make you think a little more deeper on the fear that you might have towards something.
Born in Costa Rica to Chinese parents, how have your parents helped you growing up on your path to stardom?
I think they've just given me exposure to different cultures, to different experiences. But I think most importantly, just given me the foundational tools to just function as a human being in this world. that to me is what I'm really thankful for, because it's those things that, you get into any profession, and if you can't just function on a basic level, which is, just being able to take care of yourself and know how to treat people, and also look at things in a macro level beyond just the micro as well, is I think it really helped me with my job or the career path that I've had, but also just to sustain some sort of groundedness, of being grounded. And also I think it's very helpful when they constantly tell me the truth and be like, in that role, you could have worked on this. And I was like, okay, thanks, Mom. I appreciate that.
Getting acting tips from your mom.
Yeah, exactly.
How has dance allowed you to express yourself?
Dance, I think that, I look at dance and not to sound like so esoteric or anything, but it is movement at the end of the day. And we all kind of thrive on movement. Like, we have to move, we have to constantly do that. And then when you're doing it rhythmically to something, I don't know, then you start being in tune with the thing that you're trying to head towards. So, for me, it's dance. I started off with obviously dance with music is what dance is, but then you start to find rhythms that you don't hear, and then you hopefully try and follow that through life. And I think that's kind of given some sort of a better purpose on why you do certain things and how you do certain things.
It's time for the Rocking 8, Harry. 8 random questions. Answer with the first thing that comes to your mind. There is no pressure.
No pressure at all.
Best place to visit in the Philippines?
Pangasinan.
Last movie you watched in the theater for fun?
The French Dispatch.
Now, what football team do you use when you play Madden?
49ers all the way.
TV show you want to guest star in?
TV show, I probably want to watch Clickbait.
Quote, how wonderful life is now you're in the world, unquote. How has your daughter changed your life?
Oh my gosh, just everything about life flipped upside down in such a best possible way.
What's the best thing about a dog?
Unconditional love.
How about your favorite ride in Disneyland?
Radiator Springs.
What was the last album you bought?
Oh, God. Oh, my gosh. Last album I bought, probably a Continuum, John Mayer.
It's time for One Big Question with Harry Shum Jr. from Broadcast Signal Intrusion Beyond the Mic. Harry, what would you like to see change for the future of your daughter's generation?
Understanding and more compassion towards each other.
Why should people watch Broadcast Signal Intrusion?
You can hopefully get your friends together, get your loved ones together, and just have a good scare with each other and a fun ride. That's really what it all is.
He gets unconditional love from his dog, wants to be in Clickbait, and restarts his Madden game when he's losing with the 49ers.
Lately, no. It's the most frustrating thing. I do that thing where, like, right before you lose, you're like, you pause it, then you restart it so you can hopefully have another try. I'm one of those guys.
From Broadcast Signal Intrusion, we thank Harry Shum Jr. for taking the time to talk with us today.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks, Sean.
And that, my friends, is a Beyond the Mic shortcut.